Good evening. The war zone in the Middle East has turned into a hellscape, an inferno stretching across the horizon of Tehran as Israel targets the country's fuel sites. Israel's Prime Minister outlining the aim of the strikes: destabilise Iran's government.
A roiling sea of flames fed by fuel. Israeli forces firing at Iranian oil depots and refineries for the first time, leaving Tehran ablaze. The chemical roar of burning fuel reverberating across the city. Iran holds one of the world's largest proven oil reserves. Today, its facilities took hit after hit. This is Karaj, a major satellite city, 45 minutes drive from the capital. A strike on a depot here sends fire towering over the skyline. The IDF claims the infrastructure serves the Iranian regime's military forces, but they also service civilians, and they'll be the first to pay the price. Residents of Tehran holding their breath as their city is bombarded for an 8th straight day. It's difficult to ascertain the true number of dead, but it's certainly in the thousands. The US president has demanded unconditional surrender.
We're not looking to settle. They'd like to settle. We're not looking to settle.
Iran's president firing back. That's a dream that they should take to their grave. The IRGC's retaliatory attacks continue to wreak havoc across the Gulf.
Oh my God.
A drone downed at Dubai International Airport, disrupting flights and fueling anxiety in travellers already desperate to get home. One of the city's luxury skyscrapers shrouded in smoke after it was damaged by debris. A vehicle below struck and left in flames. A driver killed in another incident in Dubai. Shrapnel also landing on his car. A high-rise in Kuwait that houses government offices today gutted by fire, sparked by a drone. All of that in the hours after this pledge from Iran's president. I personally apologise to neighbouring countries that were attacked by Iran, he says. We will not violate them. They are our brothers. On yet another front of this war, 4 people have died in an Israeli strike on a hotel in Beirut. The IDF claims it was targeting IRGC commanders operating in the Lebanese capital. Dozens more killed in Israeli air and ground raids in the Bekaa Valley. Reports, too, of ground clashes between Hezbollah and IDF troops. It was only a few months ago that heavy attacks were carried out across this border to Gaza. Israel's focus shifting from Hamas to the Iranian regime and Hezbollah as it fights to eliminate what it says are existential threats.
We want to live in peace. And if you want to live in peace, you need to prepare for war.
Nearby is Kibbutz Erez. Residents here lived through October 7, including 70-year-old dairy farmer Shay Melamed. I'm conflicted about how I feel. We're hoping that this will bring good, he says. The area is now quiet, but we don't know what's going to happen. Within hours, Iran's Assembly of Experts will convene to select its next supreme leader. All eyes now on a nation in flames to see who will emerge from the smoke. In Sderot, Israel, Mimi Becker, 9 News.
Australia is tonight considering providing military assistance to Gulf countries that are calling for help. This amid a deepening fuel crisis, threatening to spike food prices at home. Farmers warning they're close to running on empty.
Man and machine putting food on the table. But tonight, the people that fuel us are running low on diesel.
Yeah, this is frightening, and Australians should understand that while they can go to the servo and fill up, our farmers aren't getting their supplies.
With oil shipments limited through the Strait of Hormuz, some big refiners are directing supply to retail bowsers and away from wholesale deliveries like farms.
Thursday they phoned and said, look, there is an issue. they've been put on a quota or an allocation system. And then by Friday, they phoned again and said, look, there is a problem. There's no longer supply.
Now, if they run out, they can't produce your food and fibre. There is supply, and this is the issue. There's supply sitting there.
With the consumer watchdog monitoring prices for motorists, the opposition has written to the government for more help monitoring prices for farmers.
There is no way we should be looking at a fuel security or a food security issue right now.
With Iran attacking sporadically throughout the Middle East, some nations are also asking for help, not with monitoring, but with military and intelligence support.
You would anticipate as a consequence that we have been asked for assistance, and we will work through that carefully.
There'll be no boots on the ground, we're told. Instead, help repelling Iranian attacks on partners like the United Arab Emirates and Qatar.
We are not participating in offensive action against Iran. This is not Iraq, and we are not the Howard government.
Just a week into the war on the other side of the world, it's clear Australian forces, farmers and shoppers won't be immune. Charles Croucher, 9 News.
All right, let's go live to our political editor, Charles Croucher in Canberra. Charles, good evening. Tonight there are urgent pleas to protect the Iranian women's soccer team in Australia.
Evening, Pete. Yeah, much of the discussion here has involved legality, but tonight there is an issue of morality. The Iranian women's soccer team is in Australia for the Asian Cup. They play their final match tonight, but have already been labelled wartime traitors by state television for not singing the national anthem, and they face severe punishments if they return. Tonight, nearly 50,000 signatures are on a petition to Australia to offer them asylum at some stage. But with their families in Iran and a ruthless and leaderless regime clinging to power, it will require a delicate and potentially deadly piece of diplomacy.
Iran's Malika Motovali publicly declaring she wants to make history. But it's the moment the team kept silent that has them branded wartime traitors. Fears the consequences for not singing the Iranian national anthem before the opening game of the Asia Cup are looming closer.
Our concern remains as well that they might get on a plane as soon as they finish from their game tonight.
That game, the Iranian team's final match before they have to go home.
What Australia should do and can do and they're obligated to do is provide them protection.
The government sharing concerns.
We know this regime has brutally murdered many of its own people,
but not commenting on if it will intervene.
Any sporting team or member of a sporting team gets no preferential treatment.
As the war escalates and the clock runs out for the Iranian team's time here, Australians are facing their own rush to get out of the Middle East. About 11,000 citizens in the region have told the government they want to come home. 1,700 have returned on flights from the United Arab Emirates. 68 boarded flights out of Qatar to Europe. 92 took government buses from Qatar to Saudi Arabia. Those in the Saudi city of Riyadh given 2 nights free accommodation as they try to find a flight out. Heleni Lambetsos, 9 News.
President Donald Trump has denied America was at fault for a strike on an Iranian school which killed scores of children. The UN now demanding an independent inquiry.
The Commander-in-Chief with the most sombre of duties, the dignified transfer of the 6 US soldiers killed in the first days of America and Israel's war with Iran. Close to 1,500 people are reported to have died in Iran in the attacks, including at least 165 children, after a strike at a girls' primary school in the country's south. The Pentagon has launched an inquiry after US military investigators reportedly found America was likely responsible. But as the US president left Delaware on board Air Force One, he blamed Iran.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions.
We're certainly investigating. Still investigating. But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
The UN says this kind of attack could constitute a war crime. There are claims the school was located on a compound that had been a base for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard 15 years ago. The remnants of the Iranian regime could be harder to oust than the administration is portraying. According to leaked classified documents from US intelligence officials, the Republic's military and clerical operation is so entrenched, even a large-scale assault would be unlikely to remove the leadership structure. In the United States, Reid Butler, 9 News.